Good morning, students. Hope you will be fine at your respective places. In continuation to the morphology of the flower, we have already discussed what we three worlds of the flower, and today we are going to discuss the fourth world, which is called as the gynoecium. This gynoecium, it is the innermost whorl of the flower, and it is the innermost whorl of the flower, and it is the what we call as the female reproductive part of the flower. Female reproductive part of the flower. So gynoecium, it is the innermost whorl of the flower, and it is the female reproductive part of the flower. And it जो हम देखेंगे इसके what are the individual members of this, those are called as carpels, individual parts. The individual parts of this are called as carpels. So this gynoecium, it is the innermost whorl of the flower, and it is the female reproductive part of the flower, and individual member जो है these are called as carpels. इस gynoecium का हम एक और नाम भी देंगे, that is called as the pistil. Regarding the structure of this, अगर हम structure बनाएंगे एक कार्पल का, लेट दिस इज द थैलेमस. इस थैलेमस के ऊपर हम देखेंगे एक बेसल पार्ट है, फिर हम देखेंगे एक दिस ट्यूब लाइक स्ट्रक्चर है, फिर हम ऊपर देखेंगे एक व्हाट वी कॉल एज दिस पार्ट, सो अगर हम इस पार्ट की बात करेंगे, दिस इज द थैलेमस और रिसेप्टेकल. दिस बेसल जो हमारे पास swollen part, it is called as ovary. Then this part which is called as the style, and this uppermost terminal part, this is called as stigma. So here each carpel, अगर हम बात कर लेंगे, it has got three parts: ovary, style and stigma. Now how many carpels are present in the a flower? We can get if there are one carpels, if there are two, if there are three, if there are four, or if there are many rather. So I may write, when there is the one carpel, we may write monocarpellary. If there are two, then we can write bicarpellary. If there are three, we can write tricarpellary. If we have got four, we may write tetracarpellary. And if we have got many, then we will simply write polycarpellary. Now, these carpels, they may be free or they may be fused. Now, if they are free or if they are fused, then what they are known as? When they are free carpels, or when they are fused carpels. If they are free, we can write it as apocarpellary, apocarpus. Yeah, apocarpellary. When these are fused, we can write them as syncarpellary. Pus या syncarpellary or syncarpus. When these are fused, For example, अगर हम बात कर लेंगे, we have got two carpels and both these carpels are fused, we can write this as, if these are, we have got two carpels and both these carpels are fused, we can write as bicarpellary syncarpus. That means there are two carpels and both these carpels are fused. For example, if we have got three carpels and three carpels are free, we can write tricarpellary apocarpus. So we have got two types of carpels. We have got free carpels which are called as apocarpus. When these are fused, we can call as call them as syncarpus. Now, which part of the carpel is fused? कभी कभार ये देखा गया है कि when only we have got three conditions. Which part of the carpel is fused? We have got three conditions. First one, if only ovaries in two or more than two carpels, if only ovaries are fused, एक कंडीशन ये बन जाती है कि अगर सिर्फ ओवरीज फ्यूज्ड होती है. दूसरी कंडीशन ये भी देखिए हमारे कुछ प्लांट्स में, इफ या अगर हम देखेंगे व्हेन ओवरी एंड स्टाइल आर फ्यूज्ड. थर्ड, व्हेन ovary comma style and stigma are fused. So we will see which part of the carpel is fused. We will find when only ovaries are fused in two or more than two carpels, when ovary and style are fused. Third condition, when ovary, style and stigma are fused. So what we will see, हमारे पास कुछ example है when only ovaries are fused. For example, we have got pink. अब when ovary and this style are fused, we have got the example. For example, China rose. Now, when ovary, style and stigma are fused, that means when all the three parts of the carpel are fused, we have got the example petunia, we have got the brinjal, etc. These are when we have got the fused conditions. Now, let us try to discuss one by one all three parts of this, what we call as the carpel. Now let us first try define that is the ovary. अगर हम ओवरी की बात करेंगे, इट इज द लवर मोस्ट बेसल पोर्शन. एक बार फिर मैं यहां पर डायग्राम बनाऊंगा. दिस इज द थैलेमस, दिस इज द ओवरी, दिस इज द स्टाइल एंड दिस इज द स्टिग्मा. Now what we will see, ovary जो है, this it is the basal, comma, it is the swollen part of the carpel, and this ovary contains many chambers or which are called as the locules या loculi. This ovary is the basal portion of the carpel. It is a swollen part of the carpel and it contains many chambers or it contains loculi. And on those bases, when the chamber is only one, when the chamber is only two, when the chamber is only three, when the chambers are four, when the chambers are five, or when the chambers are more than five. So what we will condition, this is called as unilocular. Ovary is called as unilocular. Similarly, when we have got two, we will call it the bilocular. When there are three, we called it as trilocular. When we have got four, we called it as tetralocular. When we have got five, we called it as pentalocular. And when we have got more than five, we called it as polylocular. So what we will see, this ovary where we find many chambers, and these chambers are locular. They may be one chamber, two chamber, three chamber, four chamber, five chamber, and there be such ovary. When there is only one chamber, it is called unilocular. Ovary is bilocular, ovary is trilocular, ovary is tetralocular, ovary is pentalocular, or we can say ovary is polylocular. When we will see that there are more than five, or there are many locules, or there are many chambers, they are present in this ovary. Now what we will see also, जो हम देखते हैं एक पार्ट हमारे पास आता है, जो ओवरी का जो वॉल होता है, वॉल ऑफ द ओवरी आफ्टर फर्टिलाइजेशन which we eat, जो हम खा लेते हैं, the wall of the ovary after fertilization, that is called as pericarp. ये हम देखते हैं. Then we have got one more part, that is after fertilization at maturity. What we will see, ovary जो है, it develops fruits, and ovule जो होते हैं, they develops seeds. ओवरी जो होते हैं, दे डेवलप्स या दे फॉर्म द सीड्स, वायर एज द ओव्यूल जो होते हैं, दे फॉर्म द सीड्स. दिस इज द फर्स्ट पार्ट, दिस बेसल पार्ट. देन वी हैव गॉट सेकंड पार्ट, दैट इज दिस स्टाइल. व्हाट इज दिस स्टाइल? Style जो है, after ovary, what we will see, there is this filamentous tube-like structure which is called as a style, and this style जो होता है, it keeps this stigma, it keeps upright in position in order to keep this stigma, जो इसके ऊपर जो stigma होता है, it remains in such a position so that this stigma जो होता है, it may receive the pollen grains. ये pollen grains from the, it may receive the pollen grains from the anthocyte. So can say कि इसकी position जो stigma की होती है कि during pollination, so that कि ये pollen to ये style इस तरह रहता है कि so that this stigma, it may receive the pollens from the anther during the process of fertilization. Now this style, it may be what we call as hollow, it may be solid. अगर हम hollow diagram बनाएंगे like this, यहाँ पर हम देखेंगे on the wall, simply what we will see, parenchymatous cells are there like this. और बीच में हम क्या देखते हैं कि there is the lumen, and that lumen is hollow. So when here we will see pollen grains form there. अब जो pollen tube होता है, it passes through this lumen, it passes through this hollow cavity and reaches to this ovary. This is the hollow. Now in the solid, what will be the structure? It becomes like this. It becomes like this. एक हम देखते हैं, there is the epidermis layer, this. But जो अंदर वाला जो inner most है, it is not hollow, but it also contains the cells. These cells, it forms a sort of tissue which is called as the transmission tissue, or which is called as conducting tissue. It releases these cells, they release some mucilage so that this so that this pollen tube, it may what we call as it may penetrate through these cells and make its way up to this ovary. कि these cells, this tissue, it secretes some what we called as what we call as this mucilage, so that the pollen tubes जो होता है, it makes its way through these cells and then reaches to the ovary. So we can say we have got two types of the style. First one is the hollow, second one is the solid. Now we have got one more classification of this style. How this style जो होता है, how it is attached, how this style is attached with the what we call as the ovary. We have got three types. For example, we have first got one terminal, we have got second one which is called as the lateral, and third we have got the primordial. We have got the three types of these styles. Terminal, for example, I will draw this diagram. This is the ovary, and this style, it is attached to this ovary at the terminal point. So this ovary is called as, this style is called as terminal. यहाँ पर हम क्या देखते हैं कि ovary जो है, यहाँ पर हम क्या देखते हैं, this is the ovary and this style, it is attached at this point, terminal point of this ovary, and this is called as the terminal. Second, if this is the ovary, then we will see जो style होता है, it arises from this lateral part of this, what we will call as this ovary. Then we have got third one, that is this primordial, that this what we call as this is this thalamus. अब जो style होता है, it may arise from the base of this ovary, or it may arise from this thalamus. This is called as what we, this is called pilumiusa. Pilumiusa. What we will see, it is now this is terminal, this is let, oh sorry, it is not pilumiusa, oh sorry beta, it is gynobasic. sorry beta, it is gynobasic. यहाँ पर हम ये देखते हैं कि जो स्टाइल है, it may arise from the base of this thalamus, or it from this top of this thalamus, or it may arise from the base of the ovary. This is called as gynobasic. So we have got three types of these styles on the basis of their attachment with the ovary. एक है terminal, दूसरा है lateral, third है gynobasic. Now where these are found, अगर हम terminal की बात कर लेंगे, it is found, it is most common type. This is most common type. In the majority of the flowers, this is found, that is called as this terminal. Now we have got this lateral, we can find it in mango. Then we have got third one, that is called as the gynobasic. Gynobasic की अगर हम बात कर लेंगे, it is found in the family Cucurbitaceae. So these was the style. Third जो हमारे पास है, अगर हम morphology की बात कर लेंगे, that is the stigma. This part, stigma is the lateral part of the carpel, and this is the late terminal part of this carpel. It's the terminal part of the carpel, and it receives this pollen grains from the anthers during the process of photosynthesis. And this what we'll see, जो इसकी surface होती है, it may be somewhat hairy, it may be somewhat sticky, it may be somewhat feathery, because it does not allow these pollen grains to move away from its surface. Stigma है, it is the terminal part of this what we call as the carpel, and it इसकी जो पोषण हम देखते हैं कि ये कैसा है, it is that surface which receives these pollen grains from the anther during the process of fertilization, and It is somewhat hairy, it is somewhat sticky, it is what we call as a somewhat feathery in nature. अगर हम देखते हैं कि it is of, अगर हम इसकी shape देखेंगे, we have got different types of the stigma. First hand that is called as bifid. दूसरा हमारे पास है that we have got dome shaped. थर्ड जो हमारे पास है, जो मेरे को अभी गलती हो गई, that is called as a plumiosa. बाइफिड की अगर हम बात करेंगे, टू पार्ट्स, टू elongated parts, it is the characteristic feature of the family Compositae. Now this dome shaped की अगर हम बात करेंगे, of the family Brassicaceae, and this plumiosa, it is of the Graminae. So these are the various types of the stigma, how they look like. They may be bifid into two parts, they may be dome shaped like this, and they may be plumiosa type, and which are the characteristic feature of these three different types of the family, that is Compositae, that is Brassicaceae, that is Graminae. And this was all about this, what we call as the different whorls which are found in the flower. We have already discussed the calyx, corolla, we have discussed the androecium, we have discussed this gynoecium today, how they look like, what is their external appearance, वो हमने देखा. And tomorrow we will try to discuss, जो हमारा next lesson होगा, that will be about the plant sanitation. Until then, goodbye, God bless you.